They said the cathedral only sinks twice a year, once to welcome the dead, and once to feed them. The fog pressed down on the moor like a heavy cloak, but even it couldn't hide the pale red glow flickering against the stones of Saint Noryx. Bells rang, not in melody, but in deep, groaning tones that shook the very ground. And as the villagers gathered at the ancient doors, their skin marked by something unseen, they knew the choir had begun its song. If you hear them humming, it's already too late. Welcome to Bloody Chapter, where the hymns are soaked in fear, and every silence is hiding a scream. Like and subscribe, offer your ears. Let's begin. The doors of Saint Noryx opened with a long, splintering creak, revealing the darkness within. The chosen stepped inside, one by one, their feet bare, leaving faint red footprints on the cold stone. The air was damp and suffocating, heavy with the scent of iron and old, wet earth. 13 had been marked. This time, a butcher, his hands still stained from his trade. A blind girl, clutching a small wooden bird. A midwife, her face etched with a terror she'd never seen in childbirth. A young street boy, all bravado drained from his eyes. A man who trembled so violently he could barely stand. And among them, Elva, dressed in simple black. She watched everything with sharp, quiet eyes, her stillness a stark contrast to the fear around her. No one spoke. The cathedral itself seemed to breathe in their silence, a hungry, waiting presence. Inside, the pews sagged, worn down by age and something far worse. The main altar was warped and discolored, stained with history, and above it, where a holy symbol might have once been, a massive, fleshy shape protruded from the wall. It resembled a mouth, its lips still, its strange surface twitching softly, almost Before this grotesque centerpiece stood the Bleeding Cantor. He was robed in fabric that shimmered with an unnatural, wet sheen, his face completely hidden beneath veils of dark thread and dried crimson. He did not speak. He did not even seem to breathe. Instead, with slow, ritualistic precision, he raised his arms. A sound began, not from his throat, but from somewhere deeper, from his chest, or perhaps from the very foundations of the cathedral. It was a hum, a low vibration that resonated in the walls, in the floor, and in the bones of everyone present. The song had begun. Instantly, the others dropped to their knees, clutching their ears, their faces contorted in agony. The sound wasn't just heard, it was felt, a piercing intrusion into bone and blood. The young boy cried out, a thin, hopeless wail that was immediately swallowed by the hum. The blind girl trembled violently, her small body racked with convulsions. The midwife whispered prayers that fell apart in her mouth, her words dissolving into meaningless syllables. They were overwhelmed, dismantled by the sheer sonic force. All except Elva. She stood perfectly still, listening, unaffected. The hum washed over her, a wave that broke against her without impact. The cantor, sensing this anomaly, tilted his head, a gesture of silent curiosity. Elva stepped forward, her heart thundered in her chest, a frantic drum against her ribs, but her body remained calm, her steps measured and sure. Her gaze was fixed on the cantor, unwavering. As she approached, the cantor moved aside, not in retreat, but as if to grant her passage. And behind him, the cathedral revealed its most terrifying secret. It was not a choir of living voices that sang. In the deep shadows behind the altar, a row of still, hollowed figures hung suspended in the air. Their bodies were desiccated husks, their mouths wide open, frozen forever in a soundless song. They were the choir. They had always been. The sound did not come from them. They were simply the instruments. Elva finally met the cantor's hidden gaze, and then she moved. With a swift, fluid motion, she drew a shard of dark, volcanic glass from the folds of her dress. She struck fast, driving the sharp point deep into the cantor's chest. He staggered back, but there was no scream, no struggle. Instead, his arms rose higher, as if in a final, triumphant celebration. As he collapsed to the stone floor, A soft light began to glow from behind the fleshy altar. A hidden passage, obscured for an eternity, ground open. Without hesitation, Elva entered. She walked down into winding steps carved from the ancient stone and something else. Something softer, more organic. The air grew warmer with each step she took. The walls on either side pulsed faintly, like massive veins running deep beneath the skin of the earth. Jars lined the path, countless glass containers each holding small, shifting, unidentifiable things, too strange and horrible to name. And then she saw it. At the bottom of the long descent was a vast, cavernous chamber. Carved into the far wall was a mouth, colossal and ancient, dominating the entire space. Its lips were still. Its breath was the sound that filled the cavern. The hum, the choir's eternal song, originated from somewhere deep within its throat. At its feet, etched into the stone floor, were words. It is fed by what is not heard. Elva stared into the abyss. The moment stretched into an eternity. She finally understood. She couldn't hear the song, not in the way the others did, because it wasn't meant to harm her. It was calling to her. It was waiting for her. She was not meant to be a sacrifice. She was meant to be a successor. The great mouth slowly opened. Elva took a deep breath, inhaling the ancient, vibrating air, and the song, it welcomed her in. The choir has found its new voice, and you've just heard the first note. If you want to know what happens next, make sure to like and subscribe to Bloody Chapter. Follow the hymn. The next verse begins very soon.